All right, I got another piece of gold here for you. This one is everybody needs to read this one and really get a good comprehension of what this one's proven to you, right? So it reads, this is Kentucky's Constitution, Bill of Rights, Section 26. This reads, to guard against transgression of the high powers which we have delegated, we declare that everything in this Bill of Rights is accepted out of the general powers of government, and shall forever remain inviolate, and all laws contrary thereto or contrary to this Constitution shall be void. So let's break this down. So to guard against transgression of high powers we have delegated. Delegated means the power coming from we the people, right? We're loaning certain limited powers to our public servants through the Constitution. They're holding this power in trust, right? It's not ownership. It's just limited delegated powers that they're agreeing to be governed by. So when they exceed the rules of the trust, they're acting ultra vires, which is outside of the law, right? Which means now they're personally liable because they're breaking their oath to the trust, right? So when it says we declare, it's not symbolic. It's a binding clause showing that we, the people, in our sovereign capacity, is issuing a direct limitation on their limited authority. So violating the declaration is a breach of their constitutional contract. So here we are, and everything in this Bill of Rights is accepted out of the general powers of government. Accepted out of the general powers of government. That's our rights, all of our rights. All of our rights are accepted out of the general powers, their limited delegated powers. It's outside of their ability to regulate, right? Outside of creating a victim, anything else they can't touch. So it puts a permanent wall between our natural rights from our Creator and their administrative authority. So the legislature can't regulate them. The courts can't reinterpret them to make them privileges and all that fun stuff they like to try to do. The governors can't suspend them through their emergency nonsense they like to try and claim. And then, right, the agencies, that also goes for the agencies, they can't license our rights, right? CPLs, driver's license, right? All that good stuff. It's all void. They can't do it. We just have to understand our power, and we have to start instructing our public servants and reminding them who they work for, right? And who owns them. So now off to the next portion. And shall forever remain inviolate. Inviolate means never to be touched or broken. Rights can't be suspended. Like I said, the emergencies, elections, pandemics, they're basically our armor in our republic, right? It's our shield against tyranny. And then all laws contrary thereto shall be void, right? Void means no legal effect from inception. It doesn't need to be ruled on. It doesn't need to be said that it's void. If it violates your rights, it's void. We just have to assert our rights and our standing because they don't have the ability to go above that. So this includes any of their statutes, the ordinances, right? Executive orders, court rulings, any of it that conflicts with the Bill of Rights. Now, and we also got to remember the 9th Amendment, and then here in Michigan we have the equal provision that shows we have unenumerated rights, which means we have a very large list of what our rights really are. Obviously, they don't like to tell anyone that because that's what their racketeering schemes are all based on, is the fact that people don't know our rights and how many we actually have. So, again, the Marbury case is huge. I would like to give a shout out to Dave Jose. He's got a great webinar that actually breaks down the Marbury case that I've never seen anyone else do it like the way that he does. It's truly amazing. And then I know we've all seen the Norton versus Shelby County case that reiterated that an unconstitutional act is not law, and we owe no duty to follow anything unconstitutional. So again, if it violates your liberty, property, or due process, it was never lawful to begin with. So, if a public, one of our public servants, one of these public officials want to claim when they're trying to make claims to us, right? And they go, it's the law. Right? We hear, especially all these policy enforcers, we always hear, well, it's the law. Well, questions that we need to ask them, is it consistent with the Bill of Rights? Does it honor due process and equal protection? Because if it doesn't, right here in Section 26 of the Kentucky Constitution, and this goes for every single state and every single republic, it tells them it's void. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's void. And that's all there is to it. So this section, this isn't just for Kentucky. This is showing you what we have, right? It's every state in America, in our sovereign constitutional republic, they're all bound by the same guarantee. They can't take away, the states can only make things stronger. They can't take anything away and make any of our rights less. None of them can do it. So U.S. Constitution, Article 4, Section 2, which is the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states, which means your fundamental rights, they travel with you. They don't stop at state lines. They don't, they can't be altered in other states. Your rights are your rights. And then you have Section 4, Article 4, Section 4, which the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republic form of government. That means each state must operate under the rule of law, right, under the trust, under the contract, with separation of powers and protection of individual rights. Because, like the other part of Section 2 of Kentucky Constitution that I showed you guys, shows that all of our rights, not even in the largest majority of 99.9% of the population, vote to alter our right. If it interferes with an individual right, it's null and void. It has no power over you. So when any of these state actors, these administrative law judges, the governors, they operate outside of the Republican framework, they're not exercising lawful power. They're violating the guarantee clause itself. They're violating the literal trust indenture and document that they swore to be governed by. They're the ones that are the governed. They swore to be governed by the state and federal constitutions. So you see most of these state courts, doing the traffic codes, the family courts, they're legislative tribunals. They're enforcing policies, not constitutional law. This is very obvious at this point. I mean, it's undeniable. So when these bodies ignore due process or the jurisdiction, their acts are not judicial. They're not lawful. They're administrative, which means they're void. So these actors can be personally held liable, not held in their official capacity, their personal capacity. So that's why they're always shouting, like even in my case, Judge Jokley was sitting there, oh, appeal me. When there's not a lawful act, there's nothing to appeal, because that's why they want us to be trapped in their appeal process, because it puts us, you're going to appeal right to the same people that are enforcing the same policies and procedures they're using to bypass all of your rights and fundamental due process to begin with. So that's not the way to go. So again, in closing here, every constitution is a contract. We are the grantors, right? We are the power. Government is our trustee, our servants. So when our servants violate the terms they agreed to be governed by, their act is void, and we have every right and duty to hold them accountable and correct the unlawful actions that they're taking. So the Section 26, this locks your rights out. This proves our rights are locked outside of their reach. Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution guarantees that protection in all 50 states of our republic. So this is why I keep saying it, everybody needs to be reading the constitutions. The state and federal constitutions, learn what rights are reserved outside of our public servants' ability to regulate. And remember, we don't answer to them, they answer to us.